Good evening, folks. Welcome back to VP4 for our second match today. This time, the one-loss side in the 2025 Virtual 9-Ball World Championships. We have LS3 representing the United Kingdom up against Sergeresh representing Belarus. Sergeresh is here. No sign of LS3. And not even in for a warm-up, which is never good, in my opinion. You should always be in and knocking a few balls about. But she's maybe got more important things to do, whether it's feeding a kid or doing whatever. Well, let's hope she shows up, first of all. So, one loss side, race to 15. Slim is originally the streamer of the Albinario Cobra match when it was supposed to be at 9 a.m. on the Monday, but it's now been moved to the 8 p.m. slot, and it's still Slim's as far as I'm concerned. Being 8 o'clock, it's like 90 minutes at least, to 9:30, and I would much rather sit and watch it than actually stream it now that it's at 8 o'clock, and Slim's around, which he probably will be because he's generally around for Monday night 9-ball Scottish doubles. So he knows it's his. How long have we got? 3 minutes. What can we look at? Just check the schedule. Nothing's changed there. Let's have a look at was it Albinaria that put LS3 to the one-loss side, wasn't it? Something along those lines. Where the hell's Sergeresh in this thing? Where are we? Sergeresh was beaten by Cobra. So both of these players got humped as far as who they ended up getting in the first round draw. They didn't get any favours, none whatsoever. There they are there. Poor LS3 had to face Albinario and Sergeresh had to face Cobra. And the only thing to the advantage of LS3 is that she took more racks off Albinario than Sergeresh did off Cobra. Is there anything to be read in that? I don't know. Well, I think we're sort of clutching at straws here, trying to pick something out, but no doubt the LS3 is probably going to be the favourite, but she won't be anything until she gets here. And we are 2 minutes away. I thought you were going to say you can't find one big enough to fit your head, Slim. He walked into that. Well, we may or may not have a match. That's all I can say. I went to look at the match to find that part where Steve put his foot in it, and I couldn't find it. I'm going to have to watch it all. Does anybody remember what rack that was that happened? Give me an idea to narrow it down, because I never made a note of it or anything like that. But that was hilarious. Welcome back to Miasma. Welcome to Cobra. Welcome to Slim. Welcome to Cold as Pillow. And anybody else that matters, them that aren't chatting. And the good news is LS3 has arrived. That's good. The room is up. Let's get ourselves in. We'll have that's the queue finally loaded there. So Sergeresh on the right, LS3 on the left, races to 15 on the one-loss side. That's too heavy on the right-hand side, so LS3 wins the lag. And off we go. Well, again, for the neutrals, we want to see a good match. We don't want to see somebody digging holes for themselves consistently. We want to see good, sensible play above all, and as little numptiness as we can handle. Yeah, that's the thing about Sergeresh. He's another one that he's a bit like Stefan. He blows hot and cold. More cold than hot, probably. But he can surprise us one way or the other. I think most people watching would put LS3 as the favourite. Although I don't think you want to be telling her that, because we don't want her getting things going through her head. Just play the game, play the table, and play sensible. Well, our weather broke down yesterday, and we had a fair bit of overnight rain, and we're back to the westerly winds. It's been quite blustery. There's been heavy showers during the day. A pretty normal summer up here in Scotland, but we've had a month and a half of dry weather, not a drop of rain. But even the rain that we've had in the last 24 hours is not going to replenish the water supplies. And according to the forecast, it's to sort of settle down later on in the week, but more than likely down south. They're talking about an area of high pressure moving in again. So we'll probably still be in the brunt of it, as we normally are. The normal course of events are we get the shitty end of the stick up here, and the guys down in the southeast get the warmer weather. But I'd much rather have our weather than anywhere else. A nice temperate climate, usually no problems with water supplies, and no boiling hot heat. So we're getting a cagey start here in this first rack. Now, what about banging the 2-ball, planting the 9 onto the 3, and the 9 getting off the 3 in the top right-hand corner? Now, that was ambitious. And that 9 ball is just crying out to be bumped in one way or another. And LS3 must be paying attention to that. So pot the 2, get over to the right-hand side of the table. Oh, she's going to try and run out. Well, now you've made that choice, you've got to do it. And going to get there just. Well, if that was me, I would have potted that 2 in the side and stunned across to the right-hand side of the table and just played the cut and the 3 onto the 9. That's what I would have done. Because now you've got to get onto this 5 ball. And she has done. Cue ball out into the table for the 6, but not too far. Well, now, it didn't quite go far enough. She's the wrong side of the 6, but it shouldn't cause any major problems. Well, that's now again 2 straight in the 7, so it could be roll right through. In fact, rolling right through is dangerous as well, because there's a danger of the scratch. Yeah, she's going to play the combo anyway, so first blood it'll be to LS3. Well, give us a score then. Don't sit in the fence. 15-10 to LS3, 15-8 to LS3, something like that. $15.7. Oh, here we go again with the dry brakes. Sergeresh with no pot on really, but he can certainly come up with something half decent as a safety here with this opportunity. And that's got LS3 immediately in trouble. Although the line's there off the long rail on the left-hand side to get to the one. And maybe even cut this in if she gets it nailed. Cutting across the top of the one. Well, there's a bit more of an angle on the one, but you're going to the long rail on the right unless, let me have a look and see what that looks like from his point of view. Yeah, that should be. Yeah, that's a well-played shot. Well controlled, excellent. Apart from the fact it's got to be a combo. And just as well, the 2-ball bounce now. All you're doing is dropping this into that big gap with the 4 and the 7. Now, I've asked you guys, if you were watching the match earlier on today with Coldest Pillow and Interchange Jets, can you remember where Steve put his foot in it? Was it early in the match or was it mid-match? Somebody try and give me a clue. Somebody must remember. Oh dear. And that's all gone wrong. It's all gone wrong big time there. And it wasn't really a difficult table, to be honest with you. Yeah, but if you listen to what Steve says, and from what I've seen, the safety play was a bit shitty, Coldest Pillow. You need to work on that. There was some... there was almost some howlers when some of the safeties. Now, being a snooker player, that should come natural to you. Yeah, he's a one-trick pony, this Coldest Pillow. He can pop balls, that's it. But when he comes up against somebody that's a bit cleverer than him, he'll be in the mire. Can see that happening. So it looks like we're going to have immediate daylight here between the two of them. And Sergeresh already ticking on the unforced errors. I'll say that again. The unforced errors counter. And you don't want to start adding that up too early on. Yeah, let's put the pressure on Coldest Pillow. He needs to be labelled as a dark horse in this tournament, ready to take on everyone and everything and put them to the sword. So 4-ball in, thin cut in the 1, and don't hook yourself in the 2. And that's easier said than done, because this is going to be hooked just like that. But an easy hit and a wee bit of spin, in fact, just a tad, and you'll catch that to nudge it in. Now you need a lucky roll, and that isn't it. Is it all out for the cut? Yeah. Now, there's a nice line of balls there in the middle of the table, and you can brush off the bottom side of the three and come down this end of the table and use those for cover. That's what I'd be doing. But he's going all out, all hell for leather. Needs to come out good, and it hasn't. And that's why. If you knew you were cutting that three and you knew you were bumping the six, you just never knew what could happen. Something like this. I don't know whether he can get enough on an edge of that five. Yes, he can. So it has worked out better than I thought. Well, this is going to make up for that mistake he made. Get him off the mark. Now, who the hell opened their mouth and mentioned stub? It was Cold as Pillow. I've got the hiccups now. Cold as Pillow mentioned it. I'll show you who the mod is here. Now, does that message come up in the chat? Well, I've blocked the wrong thing. Hang on a minute. That's wrong. That didn't work. Right, let me try that. Right, does that message come up? Does that message come up in the chat? Because I've just muted him for half an hour. Just because I can. Right, anyway, more important things going on here. What the hell happened there that Sergeresh is now 3-0 down? I mean, that's terrible, whatever he did. He obviously didn't pot the 9, but I mean, again, an even easier table, and he's failed to get out. Well, Sergeresh, you're going to get your ass handed to you here if you don't buckle up here pretty quickly, because you should never, ever be 3-0 down in this situation. He had one good table he didn't get out on, then he had just an 8 ball and a 9 ball to pot, and somehow found a way not to get out, and that's just not good enough. And his time in the tournament will be short-lived. There's the first mistake from LS3, but she's got a lucky roll. Wouldn't you know it? Well, I know what I'm doing. I'm just giving this a smack. I'm giving it a full out bang and hoping for the best. And I might get a lucky roll like that. There you go. Of course, I don't get a lucky roll and get on the 5. I think the 9 ball's in the way of the crossover bank. I think the 9 ball might be in the way. I'm not sure. Let's have a look. In fact, looking at the pocket, there's half a pocket for that 5 ball to get in if you try that shot. Oh dear. And now it's going from bad to worse here, folks. This is not good. It is not a good sign. Sergeresh's bottle is gone with that shot. I think his nerves are jangling too much, I'm afraid. It's not a good sign. This could be a bloodbath. No, you can't. You're only giving him 5 racks now. I think he might be lucky to get one, the way this is going. I mean, LS3's having to do nothing other than just tidy up what's left. So that's the pressure immediately off LS3. I mean, he's folding here like a cheap pack of cards, Sergeresh. The signs are not good. The prospects are not good. And he can't be relied on with a good table to get out. And even without seeing what he did on that 9 ball, he obviously didn't get good on it. Well, I think you can. Well, you could try and tweak that, but that's the easier shot. You know, and Sergeresh is not doing too well, then keep him under pressure, although the 1 ball's leaked out. Come on, Sergeresh, you've got to use the noggin here and just shoot the balls. Well, combos there. Possible billiard as well. Yeah, I think there is a choice either or, but it's more than likely going to be the combo. No, it's duck for cover here, but it's caught the knuckle. And this is going to be tough again because, yes, the pot's on in the 1 ball, the cue ball's near the rail, and the 2 ball's ducking away behind the 3. So this is far from simple. Got to jack up and dig in. And again, get into the cue ball too much. So the evidence is all too clear there. It's the cue ball control that's letting him down. He's got a lucky roll. He's fluked to 6 now. It's not about apologising for the fluke. It's about doing the business here and running this table. That's what matters. The fluke doesn't matter. It's what you do from it. I keep saying it. What match are we talking about here, Coldest Pillow? And who is it you play again? Slim, isn't it? Well, it doesn't matter for me. Slim will be streaming his own match. I won't be streaming it. I won't be streaming that. Slim will be doing it. What day of the week's that? What day of the week is June the 8th? A Sunday. I won't be home at that time either because I work till 12:30 on the Sunday, and I'll be half an hour till I'm home, and then I've got to get fed and watered. Perhaps have a nap. I might not even see the match. I certainly won't be rushing home to get to it. What, while I'm driving? Aye, that's a good idea. That's a very good idea. What were the officer says? What was you doing? One-handed driving and watching a live stream on the phone? I was taking some advice. Well, Sergeresh, you surely cannot miss this 9-ball. And finally, he's off the bat, but he should already have 3 racks on the board. Let's be honest. He should be sitting in 3 right now. In fact, he should, in theory, be in front. Well, 9 balls going in as well. It'll come up. And the 1 ball goes. Now, if he just dinks that past the 5, the cue ball's going inside the 2, and he might have the 2 into this corner where I'm looking, depending how hard he hits this. No, he's trying to stun it. I see. He's trying to get too good. That's his problem there. And he might or might not have had a shot in the 2, but that's irrelevant in my opinion. You just got to take what you'll get. You've got to ease your way into this. You've got to find your feet in the table, find the pace, try and get better pace controlling your cue ball. And to me, it'd have been better just rolling that 1 in and rolling through the other side of the 2 if he could. There was a line there, I think, to do it, and he's just trying to be too clever. And the other thing is, as Clint says, he likes a man who knows his limitations, and I think Sergeresh is trying to run before he's learned to walk in this match so far with that shot. So here we go again. He's got a good opportunity here. 1 good pot in the 3. He's got to be on the 4. And again, he could have probably ran round the back of that 4. Now he's probably going to have to play the bank or the thin cut. That's better. And just a little nip back off the 8 ball. But don't get into it too much. Just like that. He might settle down. He might settle down now. Especially if we can get a good break here. Ball and a shot. And the answer to that is no. Now, again, this is a perfect example of a table from a dry break where you should be getting out. Now, this cue ball is about that control, and that's dead in the water. Well, still the same scenario. This time, Sergeresh at the table with everything wide open. So know where you're going before you commit. The basic rules have to apply each time. Now, this is a perfect angle to stun down the table, stun between the 8 ball and the 5. Looking like it from this end. I haven't up to have a look. Now, you see, that there is no good. That's no good. In fact, that's horrible to be putting yourself there. Making hard work of it, and now it's even harder. Yeah, no, that's one shot too many. So again, a very good table. And, you know, if Sergeresh has ever wondered that he's in the one loss side and he's and wondering why he's getting there and wondering why he's not getting on that next ball comfortably enough, then he only has to, I mean, he shouldn't need any more clues because he's the one that's playing the shots. And it's about the cue ball. Most important thing in the table is the cue ball. And another, sorry, was that LS3? My bad. It's that time of night. I apologise to Sergeresh. It was LS3 that was doing it. Blazing Saddles is one of my favourite old films. It might well be, but you're only ever going to see that late at night, and probably when they show it now, they'll probably edit all bits out of it, which is the most annoying thing. That's one thing that gets my back up in this politically correct society that we're in nowadays. I mean, first of all, before you watch Blazing Saddles, or if you watch Blazing Saddles as a younger person nowadays, you have to maybe do a wee bit of history. You have to look into things before you watch that film to understand where it's coming from and understand the humour about the whole thing. Because if you don't do that and you watch it, oh yes, you're going to be grossly offended. You're definitely going to be offended if you don't know anything about the background. You don't know that you know it's all about racism and all of that sort of stuff. It's all about how the Jewish people were treated. It's all about that. Mel Brooks being a Jew himself, and he's poking fun at the whole damn thing about the bigotry and everything. I mean, you've got a black sheriff coming to an ignorant town, all of that stuff. Unless you understand that, then you don't understand the comedy of the film. And that's why it would never be made nowadays, because of this politically correct society. Don't offend anybody. God forbid you upset somebody. Well, this is no good. Well, somehow Sergeresh is one rack behind here. Oh, hang on. Oh, I thought that was going to cut in the corner there. And the thing I love about see, the thing is, if you watch old movies and stuff, and I think I've said this before, if you watch old movies, Mel Brooks pays homage to one classic movie in that Blazing Saddles, but most people watching would not know about that little line that he has in the movie that pays homage to another movie, and it's one of my favourite movies, and that's The Treasure of Sierra Madre. And you've got to look out for that sort of stuff, and that's why Blazing Saddles is even more a classic film to me, because obviously Mel Brooks appreciates the fact that Humphrey Bogart's one of his best movies was Treasure of Sierra Madre. And if you've never seen it, God forbid and God help you, because you must see The Treasure of Sierra Madre. It's a brilliant film. If you're the federales, where are your badges? Badges? You ain't got no badges. I don't have to show you no stinking badges. You see all the villains all lined up in Blazing Saddles, you've got the Ku Klux Klan waiting to get their badges, and when the Mexicans go up, of course, that's where the classic line comes out. Well, there's lots of films now that really upset folk. I mean, and all of this business of, I mean, they show a lot of old comedy, old British comedy programs over here now, and you've got lines bleeped out. You've got warnings before the program comes on about, this reflects the humour of the time, all of that stuff. And yes, you've got programs where now they water them down, they edit out certain scenes or certain dialogue because they don't want to upset somebody. And that really pisses me off. I mean, the Faulty Towers is meant to be a classic comedy over here, but there's an episode with a major in it, and of course there's references to people of colour, which they don't necessarily show that episode now. Especially the episode about the Germans. I wonder if a lot of German people have seen that episode of Faulty Towers. I don't know whether they would take that too well. Right, so LS3 with a 2-rack lead, 5-ball tied up with a 6. And yes, I think she's got enough of the 4, but needs to run this cue ball and hope she gets a lucky graze or something. Unless she's just going to duck. Hoping for a hit, not getting it. Well, she might be able to cut this in the side, believe it or not. She most certainly can cut that in the side. And should definitely have some sort of shot in the 6. But it's a dodgy cut. Now I've never seen episodes of Archie Bunker from the States, but any of the guys watching from the States, I would imagine that program is politically incorrect nowadays, and I don't know whether the US channel still show it, because Archie Bunker was based on the British Alf Garnett over here, and it doesn't really get shown a lot over here now, because it is definitely offensive, because that involves bigotry, that program, and I think the American version would have that sort of flavour through it, but probably a lot more watered down. But even nowadays, they probably either don't show it or edit it or give warnings or all sorts of stuff. I don't know. Well, Sergeresh is staying in touch for the time being. Yeah, Bill, as I said, I don't think they ever showed that over here, but I do know the background as to how Archie Bunker came to be in the States, because it was based on Till Death Us Do Part over here. But if you guys watched any episodes of the old Till Death Us Do Part, the original series with Warren Mitchell, who plays the character Alf Garnett, you would definitely be offended by it. But I do know that the American version, as it was even back in the 70s it was made, It was a lot more watered down than what you got over here, I can assure you that. But all of those programs, you either have to have them on video or DVD, or you won't see them really. I mean, you think about it. If you go back far enough, if they show Gone with the Wind nowadays, it's offensive. It refers to people of colour, the slaves, and having various stereotypical titles for them. And then there's a great TV series, Roots, that was shown in the 70s. Anybody remember Roots? You won't see that in the telly anymore because that's absolutely littered with the N-word. They won't show it. I mean, it's embarrassing that that's the way things have become, that an actual movie or a series can't be shown now for fear of upsetting somebody. You've got to take things in context of what it was about. First of all, it was about slavery, Roots. That's what it was about, how they were treated and all of that stuff. So there's that's what's really bugged me about the way things have gone. Yes, you don't want to upset folk, but it's a television program. It's a movie. It was made at a certain time, and you've got to take everything in context. Is she getting there, I should say. That's a bit straight. Not really much that she's going to be able to do with the cue ball, though, for this 5, unless she can get the billiard. I think the billiard's certainly on, but she's got to come back a bit here off this 4 to be able to play that. Right. Does it go? Does the 5 go? No, it doesn't. So it's the billiard. Little chip off the 5, cut the 8 in. That's the only shot that's available here. It's just a little feather, but you've got to take a good lump of the 8 when you're cutting across it. Well, that didn't work out at all. And, well, the line is there to cut the 9 and cut the 5, and don't scratch the 5 in this, or the cue ball in this bottom corner, but get down onto the 6. Well, he actually tried his best to scratch it in the side instead. Well, that's not going to be that good. Yes, there is a combo in, but it's far from easy. 6 is behind the 9. He actually tried the billiard instead. Well, this might work out. Well, it'll work out in the sense that it's not an easy pot. I mean, films like, how many films have you watched where there's all sorts of references to people of colour and all sorts of stuff? Now they'll be cutting out swear words in films. That's where we're getting to, folks. I mean, Dirty Harry, if you watch Dirty Harry, when Scorpio goes and pays the black guy to get beaten up, and Scorpio refers to the black guy in discriminatory terms, or discriminatory, I'll say that again, discriminatory, I can't say it. Anyway, he says something offensive to him. Yeah, all of these films, I mean, pretty soon they'll all be getting edited. We're getting to that point. Well, LS3 is going to open that lead. You're joking. The Enola Gay. They've removed references to the Enola Gay because the name upsets people. Who's it going to upset? But yeah, that's the way it is. I mean, everything's to be watered down now. I mean, I get the sexual discrimination thing and the LGBT stuff and all of that. I get all of that stuff. It's stuff that I'm talking about in telly in terms of movies, documentaries, programs, old TV series, all of that stuff. I just don't know where it's going. Oh, Sergeresh having to kick and hope here. Oh no, can he get to it? I can get it. I thought, can you see it there? But it pots. It definitely pots. Problem is the 3-ball doesn't really. It's not that comfortable. Oh, he's overcut it. Where's this cue ball going? Well, LS3 will have a go. Well, that's the point I'm making. Retrospectively, censor stuff. Yeah, you know, that's what they're doing because it's all of this don't upset somebody's society we're living in nowadays. And I don't know how it started. That's the point. I can't remember how it started. I mean, we had a woman over here in the 60s and 70s, Mary Whitehouse. Now, if she were still alive, she'd be loving this because this is the sort of TV. She was always complaining about TV programs about being offended, and she had her own organisation. She was well publicly known over here in the UK. Now, I say if she walked this earth nowadays, she'd be over the moon. She'd still be complaining, but she'd be over the moon that everything's getting watered down now because that's what she wanted. She was a sort of husband and wife and 2.4 children type person, and didn't want to be offended when she was watching the telly. She never knew that there was an on-off button in her telly or a channel button in her telly. And she used to piss a lot of people off back in the day, mostly the broadcasters and the actors. Well, LS3's looking to stretch this lead. Wiped its feet, has gone in though. Well, Sergeresh is going to have to knuckle down here and try and stay in touch. Well, our government, well, no matter what government it has been, we've been letting every man and his dog into this country. I mean, talk about the USA guarding their borders and, you know, trying to stop all these legal immigrants coming in. It's come one, come all to the UK as far as we've been for the last 40 years. And we're like the land of milk and honey. Come over here without a job and without a bank balance, without anything but the clothes that you wear. And what we'll do is we'll stick you into a nice hotel. We'll pay all the bills for you, and we'll look after you. And you can plead asylum, even though you've just paid a bunch of bloody smugglers hundreds of dollars or pounds or whatever finance that you had, and jumped on a rocky boat, came across the channel, and bailed your way into the country. That's what's been happening here for goodness knows how many years. And then again, you've got to watch what you say in case you're deemed to be racist. But every person of any creed or colour is coming over here in boats by the dozen. And I might say drowning by as many as well in the English Channel. Oh, listen up, Larry. All you need to do is look back a number of years and you'll see how the Brits bailed out all the all of these South African farmers, all the white landowners back in the day, shipped them all out and looked after them, and bailed them out. That happened. Oh, they were well looked after. They were well looked after. I mean, they called it apartheid in South Africa, but they didn't call it that in the United States. That's the laughable thing. You had the same sort of treatment of the coloured people in the States, and exactly a similar idea going on in South Africa. It was called apartheid, separate development. I mean, the half of the fancy old buildings in this country were all paid by slavery, one way or another. They had the anti-slavery people or whatever organisation they were. They were pulling down statues and stuff like that a couple of years ago. They had statues up to all of these people that earned their money and adulation back in the time, but they earned it from slavery and made their fortunes and come over here, came back to England or Britain, not just England, and built their big fancy mansions from their slavery money. Oh, they all had a good time at the expense of those poor people. Well, this is, again, one problem in the table, and that's going to be pot the 5 and play the combo in the 6 and 7, really. But you've got to play it really gentle to keep that 6 there so that you can get an angle to come down for this 8 ball. It's the only issue. You don't see Larry's comment in the stream. There's a name I've never seen before. Sad Rhino Jr. That gap goes to 3. Now remember, this is only the race to 15 now. So LS3's halfway home. A ball goes in. One ball goes to the rail. Now, you can bank the one across the table up towards the 3 and 5, but you've got to play this at a sort of dead weight pace if you're looking to get cover that way. No, she's going all out for the bank. Now, I think the cue ball can go to the rail without bumping the 4 ball. Well, why did he have to hit that as hard? I mean, come on. Use your head, Sergeresh. Why did you have to hit that so hard? Why didn't you just pot it and let the cue ball come out? Maybe the angle wasn't as good. Maybe I should have looked at the angle, but I still don't think he played that right. Well, 3 will cut. Cue ball bumping the 4. No idea how this will turn out. Well, I think now's the time to duck and dive, Sergeresh. That's the right move. Look at this shot. This is horrible again. Jumping over the edge of the 8, at least trying to. So it looks as if the gap is going to get wider. I'll say that again. Wider. Well, clearly LS3 and Sergeresh are pals because they've been chatting away in the chat. I wouldn't be doing anything of that. I'd be like Larry. Letters of one syllable and only 1 or 2 of them. That'll be like hello, good luck, and that's it. That's the Larry approach I would use in tournaments. I wouldn't be talking nice to my palsy walsy. I'd be wanting to rip them a new arsehole, so I would. No, never. Never. Because you don't mean it for a start, and nobody cares whether you do say sorry or not. Oh yeah, the minimalist approach in tournaments, that's my game. Say very little and not often at all. Well, you hit the nail on the head there, Sergeresh. Guess I'm not playing any good for a hill here. Oh, I say that frequently. But that's in Cowboy. I don't do that in tournaments. Not that I play in tournaments, that is. I do say LCS as well quite frequently. 9-5. Sergeresh can roll the 1 in, graze the 7, and hold for the 2. But he can't do that. Oh, we're struggling here, I'm afraid. Had his eye too much on the 7 and holding for the 2 and doesn't get the 1 in the hole. And he's got a lifeline. It might not be much of a lifeline though, but that 5 and 8 I think can be. No, not really. Yeah, that is a lifeline. 5 and 8 are doing nothing. Oh, yes, aye. I'll play fast and loose and lose rapidly in the Cowboy. What are you talking about, miasma? Well, LS3, you can certainly cut the 4. Now, do you bang this in and go up and down and try and get a hit? I think that's your only shot here. You might as well have a go at it. Plenty of room to play it. Try and just get a chip on the 5 or the 8. You never know. No. I don't really see the point in that. I would have banged that in and went up and down. It was like a free go, and if you didn't get anywhere near it, you were always going to leave it safe. Yeah, Cowboy, I think, is past its anniversary. If you go into the search in the internal browser and you type in the little window and you type in 2024, and then when the menu comes up, you go to events and you look at 2024, you'll see that probably, I think Cowboy is past its anniversary now. Well, that was a good attempt. Yeah, it's I knew it was roundabout now, so in theory it should be Cowboy. And if it was me, I would have the Cowboy tournament set for the end of this tournament, and the sign-up's open right now. That'd be the way I'd do it. I'd be proactive in that sense. Well, Sergeresh should have go at the kick, but I'm afraid the outcome is going to be inevitable here. I think it's double figures for LS3. Just take the pace off the cue ball, hold there for the 6. And just tickle, and I think there's maybe too much angle in this. This will be out into the table for the 7 into the same pocket. Unless she thinks she can drag it and kill it, but I think it's safer straight out into the table, isn't it? And the Cowboys should get a good enough turnout. Probably maybe as many as this, because this has been a disappointment, this tournament. You know, this is the favourite game of everybody, apparently. And we only got like 30 or 31 in it or whatever. Which is probably, and I'm not going to be that far wrong in saying that it's the worst attended 9-ball virtual world championships that we've ever had in virtual pool. And I'm talking about virtual pool 3, where I think we had pretty much nigh on full tournaments most of the time it was ran. 64 in and more. Yeah, 2 spots were open, but it was originally open for 64. So that meant we only had 30 in it then. And 30 is a pretty poor turnout for a 9-ball virtual world championships. Very disappointing. Well, that's not going to be much good. You could play the draw into the 6 and hope the 3 ball comes good. Needs to bounce. That'll do. No, we won't get 5 sign-ups, and you know it, Stub. I'll know why, because you'll be the first in. You'd be in it, Stub. Don't ever doubt it, because it's another tournament you think you could win and you'd have no chance in it. Yeah, Honolulu was scheduled to go at one time, and then that went pear-shaped. I still think Honolulu would be a good tournament. Oh dear, the yawning started. What time is it? Yeah, it's 8:30. It's that time of night, 8:30 bedtime for me. Well, it's come off the rail, so should be a comfortable cut in. And the match is running away for Sergeresh now, or running away from him. Yeah, all these games where you have to use your head, Stub, they're no good to you, aren't they? 9 ball. That's one of them. One pocket. I mean, Stub chose, what was it, 10 ball in the 10-footer because he thought he'd have a better chance than that, and he get gubbed in that early on. I mean, every time you make a choice, Stub, you walk right into it and fail miserably. I think 15 ball is your limit, Stub. I think if you stick to something simple like that, you have a very good chance of maybe making it by the first round. Because that's a bit like straight pull, Stub, except you don't have to be clever. You just have to pot every ball. The difference with straight pull is you have to actually use your head. And that's where you trip up. 15 ball simple. Any numpty can play that. Pot any ball, get the money value of the ball, and first to 61 wins the rack. It could not be simpler. It's a perfect numpty type of tournament you'd love, Stub. I think that's what we should have. We should have a special Stub tournament. Well, you could say that. You could ask that question of Stub in any game, and the answer to that is he thinks he is. Doesn't matter what game it is, he thinks he is. He's since found out in the last whatever many years now, 11 years of VP4, that he ain't, because he can't win a title. To put it another way, shit. I don't think that isn't an overly descriptive description of how his game is nowadays. It's garbage. He's a banger. That's all he is. Well, it might be harsh, but who's going to argue with me that it's not true? He's just an everyday banger. Well, LS3 with a comfortable 6-rack lead that should be about to go and stretch even further. Oh, you don't want to go too square. That's just short. Oh dear. I think I'm barely going to hold out. This is exactly why I shouldn't ever be doing the Albinario Cobra match, because that's it. My brain's gone. It's shutdown mode. It's sleepy bye-bye time. And of course, what does LS3 do when she has a winning rack? She breaks dry and doesn't leave Sergeresh a sniff. Although that shot from Sergeresh is a load of rubbish, because he should be in trouble here. He's just asking to be buried here. Or maybe even if, in fact, I don't think the bank's great, but at double banks like that. Now, how are we for the thin cut? The thin cut is no problem. So the problem now is 3 rails. You're going to come below the 3 if that's where you're headed. And probably not much of a shot, to be honest with you. Well, she's played it soft and slow. Problem's still ahead, though, because the 5 ball and the 7, you've just got to get there. And the angle in the 3's not great. You've got to get across the table and come back across. Or bump the 9 if you can. No, she's done her best to hold it. I think that's dead set, that pretty much, the 5-7. I haven't used this camera for a while. Now, that 5 ball is pretty much going to stay there where the 7 is. And the cue ball's headed up table. That's very well done. Well, Sergeresh is dead and buried here, folks. It'll be a miracle for this to suddenly turn. But that's always the thing about the World Championship tournaments. It doesn't matter. You're going to get found out. You might get found out very early. And in Sergeresh's case, he's getting found out very early. He's heading home. I'm writing him off right now, folks. If you ain't got the game, you're out. You're going home. How many? That must be what? I don't know. Is it 6 or 7 racks in a row, one way or another, for LS3? You haven't been counting. But it seems like Sergeresh has been stuck in 5 for the last 30-odd minutes. Why does no one ever believe my predictions? I don't remember what your prediction was. What did I say? 15-8? I think I said 15-8. Did you say 15-5 for this match? Oh, Oh dear, let's have a look at the 6 and 9. Absolutely stone dead. Even I could make that combo. I would never miss that combo as long as I got myself down a bit here, at least. So that's going to be a little one to test LS3 if she can get that far. Well, see, if she was there in the 4 ball, she was perfect to dink down into that corner. There's just too much angle in the 4 to make it simple, that is. Now, she could go the 3 rails and just leave the higher cut on this left side of the table to make the combo. She's trying to hold the cue ball one way or another. And that's just ruined it, I think. Yeah. Now, there's a tiny feather edge in the 6 to try and play the combo. But billiard, I should say. Well, I think it was simpler to cut that and go 3 rails and come to maybe say there and leave the combo. And Sergeresh gets a hit, but no roll of the ball. Right, well, while this is going on and while I've got your attention, folks, let's just, because I'm intended to bail out here rather rapidly as soon as this is done. The matches that we have, we've got Albinario Cobra tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. British Summer Time, 3 p.m. Eastern, whatever it is, West Coast, 1 p.m. No, it isn't. Is it? Somebody work that out because my brain's shut down. Larry and Pulkabouter on Tuesday at 8 p.m. I'll be there for that because I'm off work then the next 2 days. Acero Spectre Dawn Wednesday, 2 in the afternoon. That is my day off, or my first day off. I'll be there for that one. And One Pocket Slim and Cold as Pillow is next Sunday afternoon at 1 p.m. And I will be coming home from work, so that will be on Slim's channel. And meanwhile, LS3 is 1 away, breaking for the match on the hill. Well, it's been a disappointment because I always want to see both players playing well, contributing, but I'm afraid it was the cold version of Sergeresh that we got tonight. Very cold, to be honest with you, and getting colder. But getting a roll of the ball. And I don't know whether you've noticed, but touch wood and everything else going okay so far. I haven't had any problems. XSplit. Well, of course, and the next experiment is when I do the next live stream, I'm going to do it with a full Boona with John Virgo and the rest. I'm going to do it with that presentation and see what happens, because that's going to be the full test with all the bells and whistles working. Where's the cue ball going? Oh dear, how sad. Never mind. And I want to hear Tam's Tactical Genius theme song again that he wrote for me. I've been missing it. And I'm sure you've all been missing it. And my own Tactical Genius theme song that I wrote myself. Well, the AI did it, let's be honest. So that's what I'm going to do. Next presentation will be the one with all the gubbins in it. I'll need to, in fact, the other problem with that is I've forgotten all the bloody shortcut keys. I'll mess about with it. Well, Sergeresh, it's either the thin cut or the bank. Well, let's see if we can get a bonus rack here. Or let's see how he can fail here and not get on the 9-ball. What the hell is he going to do here? And he's played it well. And there goes Miasma's prediction down the pan. How far off the mark can you be? Sergeresh has got 6. Miasma can go home in shame. 4-ball goes in. 1-ball just comes off the rail. No problem getting in a 2-ball and no problem getting in a 3. The problem is getting some shot in the 3 where you can get to the 5. And that might actually have helped the situation, but although the 2-ball is straight. Yeah. 15-5 you predicted, down the pan. Right, so this is controlling the pace. Well, I thought he was going to go with the 3 rails there to get across. He's leaving it on the other side. Now, you don't do anything crazy here to try and make the 7-ball better. Oh, well. Checking it up and holding it for the 6. He's missed the 5. Has he got lucky? Yes, he has, and it's up and down to kick the 5 in. This is unmissable, this. Well, again, trying the Massey. Yeah, you either get them right or you make a complete howler with Massey shots. There's just no prediction about them at all. So, Sergeresh, well, I think he's fell too short here in this 6-ball. If he'd been there, he would have had a chance. But now, the best he might get is a bank out of this. Needs to keep going, and that'll do. He's got the bank. Will he have a shot in the 8-ball? That's debatable. And, well, he doesn't. He certainly doesn't have a shot in the 8-ball because it's getting in as well. That's a bonus. Now, this is not difficult, this 9-ball. And another bonus rack for Sergeresh. So, Miasma's predictions well out of order. And this is the death throes of Sergeresh from Belarus, hanging on by a thread. Well, I'm going to say it here, and I'm going to say this in the presence of witnesses. If you can't get out of here, you're a complete numpty. There, I've said it. Don't start readjusting stuff. You bottled out on your prediction when Sergeresh was playing crap, and you decided to change it to 15-5. I don't need to scroll up. I remember what you did. And then because it was looking like 15-5, you went back to 15-5 and stuck with that. Well, I'll tell you, this will be the escape of the century. This. But the beauty of 9-ball is that is feasible. It is a feasible proposition. That's not the word. It's my vocabulary's gone to pot as well. Somebody think of the word. But anyway, whatever you think it is, it's 14-8. And, well, the balls are going in all over the place here. Let's look at that for a replay. Watch this. Best break of the night. 1, 2, 3, 4. And not really an easy shot, I don't think. No. Hang on a minute, though. Hang on a minute. Everything's happening for Sergeresh now. Look at this. What a jammy get he is. Trying to cut it into the side. Banks it into the corner. I don't believe he played the bank. And he's sitting plumb on the 4. I'm going to have to manufacture the combo to stay alive. And it's not. This is not simple. Far from it. And the 6 ball's gone fairly tight by the look of it. No, it hasn't. That's going in every day of the week. She's going to cut that. And that will be, unless LS3 drops on top of the 7 ball, it'll be Sergeresh's last shot. Just got to finish left or right of this ball either way. Oh, dear goodness me. It's all going wrong. That was not a difficult cut. Yes, it was thin. And the 6 ball is tight for a bank. But it does bank. Well, he's nailed it. And a 7 in the side. What's going on here in this match? He was sitting in 5 racks for 35 minutes. And now, well, will he get to double figures? Five balls going in. 1 ball's, well, it's a dead bank, this 1 ball, I think, is it? Let's have a look. Well, got to pick the line. Well, Sergeresh has got to be in trouble from this shot, LS3. I'll finish my 5-litre bottle of water. I've got my reserve bottle of water sitting next to me. And that is that one done. Well, the combo is there. 1 ball. Oh, he's behind the knuckle. Is he? Oh, he's on the point. No, he's not. No, he isn't. He can get to it, but well, that middle pocket's quite. No, it's not. No, is it bigger? Is he going to double bank it? Is he going to try and do something crazy and thin cut this scratch in the corner while the 1 ball goes in off the 9? Anything can happen here. Have I gone out of sync? Or did he look closely at that? Did he look closely at the point? Because I'm sure he could get to the 1 ball. Well, that's the biggest sellout of the night then. I mean, I don't know whether it looked any different on his screen, but as far as I'm concerned, I can see the 1. And we need to have a look at this 9 ball as well. 9 ball's fine. And what we got tied up there, the 8 ball and the 6. Well, I say tied up. It goes in. It's a combo with the 7, but let's just put it this way. It ain't good, the 6 ball. But it could be better in a minute. Well, this is a big shot here for LS3. Got to nudge this into play one way or another. Oh, that will do nicely. That will do very nicely, because the cut angle on the 6 to make the 7 sends the 6 that way. Now, if you hit this hard enough, then you're going to bring the 6 into play. I think you've got to hit this a wee bit. Oh, the 7 hasn't gone in. What is going on? Wow. You had to, I mean, that's fine where the 6 ball went, but the amazing thing is the 7 never went in. And Sergeresh, well, he's got to, this is the hard shot, believe it or not. Getting out for the 8 and getting good, and that's pretty good, because you could never judge them perfectly. And we know the 9 ball's hanging over the pocket. That's unmissable. And he's going to get to 10. I'm getting excited. I'll tell you something. If this goes another 2 racks, I'll be getting even more excited, and I want to get to bed, and I'll not be able to sleep, because the brain cells will be working overtime. And balls are going in again. 1 ball's not great. The balls are flying in here. Well, all you need is 1 good cut in this 1 ball. Either way, take your pick. It ain't good, whatever way you look at it. It is, well, can you... I think you can thin cut it into the side without scratching. I don't like this cut. In fact, it might be a bank. Now, that needs to stay in this long rail. Well, no prizes for guessing what's happening here. This has got to be a bank. Now, 1 good shot here. Holding for the 3. Well, I'm going to say it should be over now. And we are almost 90 minutes into this match. 88 minutes played. But that is definitely hasta la vista, baby. And sayonara. And bon voyage to Sergeresh from this year's tournament. Mistakes were made. Sergeresh made far more than LS3, but the scoreboard is a lot better and healthier looking to Sergeresh now than it was 25 minutes ago. So it's a 15-10 win for LS3, and she marches on. Quick look to see, I think she's going to have a while to wait to have any other match, to be honest with you. Let me do a refresh view. In fact, I can't see LS3. Oh, there she is. No, she plays Mr. Fox next, and they've got until June the 3rd, so that'll be a good match-up between those two. That will be a very interesting match. So, well, we've got Shibo and Bedhead on the 1 loss side, Brainful Out and Quagmire, Spud Boy and Rabby, Wanwa. Who's he? Oh, well, Interchange X is waiting in the winner of Tommy and Bankster, and so on and so forth. That's it, folks. It looked as if it was going to go pear-shaped there at the end for LS3, the way things were going, but well, in the end, she deserved to win it, but she'll need to improve her game a wee bit or have a better match as the tournament progresses if she's going to stay alive. But sooner or later, you're going to bump into trouble. And we know she's good enough. Again, it's just the fact she doesn't get the table time. That's it. I hope you enjoyed it. That's me for tonight. we will see you in due course for some of these upcoming matches over the next few days. But the big one tomorrow night is Albinario Cobra, and that'll be on Slim's Twitch at 8 p.m. British Summertime. I'll be there to see that. I hope you will as well. Until then, until we meet again, good night. Take care. See you later, folks.